Yes, sir. Sir, I'm Aditi Chhaparia and I belong from Gorakpur, Uttar Pradesh. And I have pursued economics honors in my graduation from Shri Ram College of Commerce. And I am also in IRPF. I was selected in my previous attempt. And currently I am on EOL and I plan on improving my rank this year.
So how does it feel to be twice on this seat?
So it feels amazing. It is surreal, and I hope that I can do justice to this seat.
But why are you here for the second time? This is my concern.
Sir, because I want to get into the service of my dream and the service where I feel personally that I will be the best fit in. So administration has been something that I've always aspired to do. And being an economics student, I feel I can contribute immensely in that segment as well, which is why I'm here today.
But why not protection force? Does India not need your services in protecting the railways?
Sir, Protection Force surely is a great service in itself, and I would be very happy to work there if that is what the fate decides for me. But,
How many salaries have you drawn?
sir, I got selected in October, so since then I have been on leave, so I've not drawn any salary yet.
Okay, so you don't know what is protection force all about. You've not even entered the service and you're still judging it that it's not good for you, so you want to change it. Is that so?
Sir, no, sir, that's not the case. It's not so much about protection service not being a good service than it's about me wanting to get into IAS. So,
Okay, what is the
I,
job of a protection force officer?
sir, it is to ensure law and order in the railway segment and to protect railway assets and to provide a secure transportation experience to the passengers in the railway.
Aditi, don't you think that Indian railways today requires safety more than security? Our trains are running out of tracks. What do you feel?
Yes, sir, that is an issue that we should solve on an urgent basis of derailment and more research and development and bringing advanced technology in railways could be a solution in doing that. For
So, what are
example,
your suggestions to the Railway Minister of India regarding the same?
sir, I believe that firstly, the current Kavach system that has started to get deployed, that is something we should deploy on 100% basis because it can automatically stop at the sense and prevent collusion. And sir, secondly, I believe that the tracks that are old and not maintained properly, those tracks and those trains could be updated. And sir, thirdly, even personal training, I believe, is a very crucial part here because
Aditi, do we need a bullet train? Already, we can't run these trains efficiently. Just as you said, there are a lot of reforms needed in the old trains and they are being derailed. And you also need that security from you personal. Do we really need a bullet train?
sir, surely bullet train is something we should aspire for because the average travel time in Indian trains is lesser than the countries we're competing with. So not just in passenger segment, but even in goods segment, we should update to bullet trains.
Why are trains not punctual in India?
Um, Sir, I believe it has to do with the technology aspect and the delays, and also the weather of foggy weather in northern India that causes the delay.
Don't you think it's more to do with the attitude of Indians? Let us compare two different countries, one who's giving us the bullet train and one who's adopting the bullet train. So I think punctuality is an ethic in Japan and a value in India. Let's say I was late for today's interview. So I am being very non-punctual and I am taking it very lightly, very non-seriously. I don't care about it. I'm taking my time for and your time for granted. Don't you think that Indians lack that value?
Sir, I would agree to that because since childhood, we are not punctuality is a value that is taken casually If we see right from our schooling, uh, students are late, teachers are late, nobody is reprimanded for that. So I believe if we establish a stronger accountability system also here, that uh, being on time is a necessity, and even a delay of 2 3 minutes would get penalized, then slowly we can create a system of punctuality. And maybe railways could actually extrapolate that to other segments also in India.
Which are the most punctual public transport systems in the world? I'll give you
So,
three options. I'll give you the Singapore BRTS system and the Japanese railways and the ICE trains of Europe.
sir, I don't have much idea about the other two, so I will not be able to rank them.
Okay, too much into railways. That's a gone thing for you. But why did you choose this job again? You've already given it a preference, be it at last. Why did you even choose it? Because you were already there.
Sir, I filled that for the sake of filling all the preferences. So that was the only job that would have been left unfilled. So I filled it in last.
Okay, you did not want to show your enmity and hatred towards this current job, so you had to fill it. ठीक है. Okay, tell me the impact of gravity on food.
Sorry, sir, on food.
On food, yeah. You've done your research in solving the food crisis in space, which is a gravity-free environment. So my question was very blunt and shocking. Impact of gravity on food, if you may. We can just try.
Sir, if we talk about gravity on Earth, the roots of growing, when we grow a crop, the roots go deep into the soil. So I feel gravity plays a role there to um, regulate the growth, and also the motion of nutrients and water and fluid inside the plant's growth is also regulated by gravity.
So do we carry food with preservatives to the space? Or how does it work? Like, is it a fresh food or is it a preservative laden food? And that obviously I think would impact my health if I go to space with that food.
So there are three levels of food that are carried in space. Firstly, there are non-preservative foods which have limited shelf life. So that has to be consumed within a smaller time span, like milk or eggs or uh, rotis. So then there are food that are specifically packed and packaged for space that can be consumed for a longer period and just require hydrating and heating them once. And so then there are fresh fruits and vegetables also that are carried. And now we are also moving towards growing our own food in space, as ISRO also demonstrated a successful experiment recently of growing lobia cowpeas in space. So, for longer term missions, such as missions that we are hoping for on Moon and Mars, for that we will need to progress in this field more of growing our own food in space.
So yesterday in our conversation, we talked about the crisis. India already is a hungry country. World Hunger Report and Malnutrition Report, the Hunger and Management Hangama Report. Indian children are malnourished, they are underweight, they are stunted, and the whole world is dealing with this food crisis. We saw that in Somalia as well, in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa as well, and many other places, maybe due to climate change or so many reasons. Do we really need to do this? The whole space drama which we are doing, Aditi.
Sir, I believe that the space technology that we are focusing on is more focused on a longer term growth. And by developing that, we will, in the end, be able to solve problems like food crisis on Earth. So, a lot of our space missions, like weather forecasting and remote sensing technology, help our agriculture's productivity. And especially India's space mission is very much focused on a development mode mission project where our prime focus is India's development. So I believe that if we go further into this research and scientific endeavor, we will have to think on a long-term perspective and be one step ahead of uh, these programs.
Aditi, what is space economy?
So space economy is the total output that space-related projects produce on Earth, and it has been growing exponentially over the past decades for many countries, and especially for India. So, for example, creation of jobs, supporting MSMEs and backward and forward linkages industries, and the directly employed space activity, and various missions that they launch.
So where does India stand in the BRICS countries in terms of space economy?
Sir, it is one of the more important space economies, and I'm not sure of the exact placement, but it is somewhere near. It is below China and Russia, but
Okay, you read more about it. कोई बात नहीं. So Gorakpur. So I see three districts related to you: Gorakpur, Kushinagar, Sant Kabir Nagar. I think they are on the eastern side of UP and nearer to the border of Nepal. Am I right?
yes, sir.
And they all relate to Gorakpur. So let's talk about Gorakpur. Who is it named after?
Sir, it is named after a yogi known as Goraknath Baba of the 11th century. So he was the founder of Nath Sampradaya. So we also have a temple after
Nath.
him.
So tell me the difference between Baba Ramdev's yoga and Hatha yoga. He was the scholar of or proponent of the Hatha yoga.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between Ramdev's yoga and Hatha yoga? You know about Swami Ramdev, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and he also hails a nearby area, Noida vagara mein he has some ashrams and all. So you tell me that what is the difference between Ramdev's yoga and Goraknath's yoga?
Sir, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to read up more.
Okay, what is Hatha yoga?
Sir, that also I'm not sure about.
So Hath means force. So when you are forcing energy in and out of your body, that constitutes the part of Hatha yoga, I feel. But you should. I'm not a yogi purush. I'm not a fit person. So you must read and ponder more about it. Okay. Have you heard about the Buddhist circuit in Indian tourism industry and Indian connectivity ecosystem? What is it
Yes.
about?
Sir, it is a program to connect all the important places related to Buddha's life, Lord Buddha's life, and to give a packaged experience to tourists in India. So,
Does it include only the Indian sites or there are sites with the other countries as well? Bhutan, Nepal, they're all Buddhist countries. Even China is a Buddhist country. Sri Lanka is a Buddhist country. So, do we have even Afghanistan has Bamiyan Buddhas there? So, do we have only Indian sites in the Buddhist circuit or we have the SAARC countries as well?
Sir, I'll have to read up more about it.
इसको भी आप पढ़िएगा all the Buddhist sites because he could catch up a keyword anywhere. अभी recently my student उसकी मदर का डिस्ट्रिक्ट था पुणे. So उन्होंने उसकी मदर के डिस्ट्रिक्ट के नाम पर ही उसको काफी कुछ पूछ लिया. So कुशीनगर is a catchy word. Sant Kabir Nagar is a catchy word. Bhakti and Sufism. Kabir कौन थे? Who was Kabir if I ask you in simple words?
Sir, Kabir was a Bhakti saint in the 15th century India, and he was a supporter of Nirgun form of Bhakti, where he did not attribute to a personal attributes of Lord, but he believed in devotion and righteousness of character to support his form of Bhakti.
So was he a poet as well?
Yes, sir. He was a very renowned poet, and he wrote many dohas and Kabir.
What do you know about the Awadh part of UP? The Awadh region, which is historically also famous as per the 1857 revolt. We've seen a lot of
Yes.
Awadh.
Sir, Awadh is in the central part of UP, and it has a very rich history, right from the Mughals to the 18th century smaller kingdoms that came up there, and eventually the revolt of 1857, and then the British rule. It has a very diverse culture because of that. There are Mughlai food, Mughlai culture. Then it has its own art in form of chicken curry, and then there are several historical monuments like Rumi Darwaza and Imambara.
Do you think UP needs states reorganization? Being an economist, being on the economic front, or looking at the economic prism, do you think UP needs states reorganization, Aditi?
Sir, I do not believe that UP needs state reorganization because, firstly, it is assumed that smaller states will lead to larger welfare. But I believe in UP's case, its size is its strength. Firstly, because of the large population that we offer, helps us in getting more investment. And recently, with Investor Summit and various government policies promoting business growth, also we've seen that now UP is being perceived as a suitable investment destination. And secondly, sir, the resources that UP has, there are diversity of resources available in different regions. So these are the two factors. And sir, more than that, bifurcating UP will create more problems for different parts of UP. Firstly, there will be disparity between regions. So there are more growing regions and lesser growing regions in UP. And currently, we can make policies in a way where the more growing regions support the lesser growing region. But
Excellent, excellent. Was Ajmer a cultural shock for you?
no, sir, it wasn't much of a cultural shock um, because Gorakpur and Ajmer, I believe, are very similar on
Okay.
multiple fronts. And however, the boarding experience was a cultural shock.
Okay, so there are no cultural differences between, let's say, Gorakhpur and Ajmer, or in general, UP and Rajasthan. Do you mean to say that?
No, sir. If we see on the larger front on UP and Rajasthan level, the culture of Rajasthan is very unique and very different from UP. The food, the music, the language. But if I just talk about Ajmer as a city, then the city had a very similar ambience and vibe as Gorakhpur. So
Okay. And why Mayo College?
Sir, because I wanted to go to a boarding school and it was a good school. I had relatives who had already studied there, so it felt like the preferred choice.
Tell me the differences between the ICSE and the CBSE curriculum. Why ICSE and why is it still there? Why do some people prefer CBSE over ICSE? Throw some light on this.
Sir, I have always been in ICSE since kindergarten. So my exposure to CBSE came after starting to prepare for civil services, and the difference I could feel between the two curriculum was that CBSE was more um, is more light for the student, and it is more engaging. So so I believe that it has a more balanced curriculum than ICSE, and ICSE on the other side was very rigorous, and it was more academic oriented. But I believe that for a wholesome development of a child, we need to balance academics with other activities like social interactions and sports as well. So
So
for
where
that,
would you put your children, CBSE or ICSE? They
sir,
would not be able to read Julius Caesar. Please understand. If they go to CBSE, they would not have explicit English just as you have. Even I am an ICSE product. That's why I really am worried about this thing. Please tell me. Please take your time and tell me.
Sir, I believe that there's no right fit for a student to. It will depend on how they are and what their aspirations are in life. So, if they are more, if they're not academic as much, and they want to explore different aspects of life and have a more balanced schooling, so then I would send them to CBSE. But if they have a very academic bent of mind and they want to pursue that in their higher education in life as well, then I would send them to CBSE.
So what
Sorry.
about a UPSC aspirant? Should she go to an ICSE school or a CBSE school?
Sir, I think both schools will help a UPSC aspirant. And instead of board, I would focus more on other aspects of the school, and whichever school gives a wholesome experience.
Okay, so you are a rock band rock star. And you were a lead guitarist. Wonderful English rock. So tell me, is rock music not harmful for the ears?
Sir, rock music is there are various types of rock music actually. So there is hard electric rock music, and that is very loud and may not be suitable for everyone. But then there is soft rock as well, and there's modern rock as well, and rock which is more soothing to the ear. So based on one's choice, they can choose the type of rock they want to listen to.
So, what does guitar do in a band? What does it add to? How does it add to the music?
Sir, guitar, there are multiple types of guitar. So there is rhythm, which gives which sets the pitch for the band and gives a rhythm to the band. And sir, then there's lead, which can be used to create a solo or to guide the vocalists. Um, to a particular chorus. And then there's bass, which adds more depth to the song.
Why are youth like you attracted towards the English rock? Are there not good Hindi rock bands in India? The indigenous rock bands in India? Which is your favorite one, if you're aware of them?
So there's Indian Ocean, which I particularly like. There are actually many Indian rock bands, but uh, there's nobody in the mainstream commercial music as yet. So I particularly got inclined to English rock music more because we used to give Trinity Rock and Pop exams. So, where we had to prepare English songs. So, that is how my interest got shifted there.
Why are women shuttlers coming up? Badminton? Why are they
Um,
more famous? PV Sindhu, Saina Nehwal, and all those. Why is it a women dominated game, or like it's gender neutral or what? But the famous ones are only women.
Sir, I would like to beg to differ to that because we have great shuttlers in male shuttlers as well, like Pulaple Gopichand and um, uh, Prakash Padukone sir. And even in the current Olympics, we saw Lakshya Sen's exceptional performance. So I believe that women in the last 2 decades, women have performed very well, which is why we know them more. But there are several male shuttlers as well doing great on the international front.
So, how was your experience as the chief editor of the school monthly newsletter?
Uh, Sir, it was a very hectic job because we had to get updates on a day-to-day basis and compile them within a week. So and especially going around and making sure that everyone is aware about the newsletter and we could get diversity of opinions and articles from all sections and sections of the school was it was that part was challenging, but overall the teamwork was very exciting, and I enjoyed that work a lot.
So what skills did you achieve? What skills did you come out with after becoming the editor? GS4 वाली स्किल्स में से मुझे 3 या 4 स्किल्स आप बताएं कि कौन कौन सी स्किल्स आपने इनकलकेट की आफ्टर बीइंग द एडिटर इन द न्यूज़लेटर कैंपेन.
So, firstly, I will say objectivity because we had to present news and not give sensational articles in the newsletter. So, secondly, I would say impartiality because we had to include opinions of all sections. And sir, thirdly, I will say dedication because we had to stick to the timeline and work till late at night. So that really gave us a sense of time and getting things done on the foot.
Okay, why is youth not reading as much as he should be?
Hmm.
Reading is going down as a habit, and I see very few people reading. And today even the charm of those paperbacks and hard copies have gone away due to your Kindle culture and PDF culture. Why is it happening? Reading क्यों नहीं कर रहा है youth?
Sir, because now we have so much content available online in the audio visual form. So, if we compare reading with that, youth usually prefers going for the audio visual content because it's easier to grasp and it requires lesser attention, lesser focus. So, I believe that is taking reading's place, but there is still a section of youth which has stayed loyal to reading, and I believe we should promote more of reading because nothing beats a pen and a book.
Do you think it's also related to the reducing attention spans? People can't focus much, people can't concentrate for longer times.
Yes, sir. It has to do with that as well because I believe doom scrolling and scrolling reels have really reduced our.
The 15-second culture or the 30-second culture has done away with the. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I have nothing more to ask you from your ये वाला hobbies वाला section.